we will begin with, we can do a little bit revision of chapter 4, and then um we will discuss and read chapter 5. So thank you so much for your enthusiasm for joining. So we will start with prayers. Anyone who has not chanted the prayers so far, if you want to chant. Yeah, Shweta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
Mataji, I find one of the verses a bit difficult. So, please forgive me if I, make any mistake.
Don't worry, Mataji. It's okay. I mean, I know I also struggled in the initially, if I have to read a new verse, I struggle now too. So, but that's not the thing. We try and come forward to read, and whatever we do is fine.
Okay, Mataji. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितां श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advait Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishakha. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते. O my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnav devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्दा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advait, Gadadhar, Srivas, and all others in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time, Mataji. Like Hare Krishna, should I say
Yeah,
that
thanks.
mantra one more time?
Yeah, you can.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Very, very nice. You didn't struggle even in one place. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you for that. And, we will have every week one devotee who has not tried, was not chanted before, chant this. So, by this way, we can learn to chant.
Thank you for this opportunity, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so before going into chapter 5, I have some questions on chapter 4. So, you can say the answers or unmute and say the answers or type the answers better. That will be good. A, B, C, or D. Okay. According to Bhagavad Gita 4.21, how does a self-realized person perform work? A, with attachment to results. B, as a duty without desire for results. C, without any work at all. D, for personal benefit.
B.
Yeah, B, yeah. Maybe everyone can type the answers. That will be easy. And okay, next question. What is the significance of sacrificial work? Yajna, as mentioned in these verses. This is not specifically verse related, but general idea of significance of yajna as mentioned in these verses. A, it is a means to attain material prosperity. B, it leads to liberation and purifies the performer. C, it is meant only for brahmanas. D, it is done to impress others. Yeah, this is also B. Right. Okay. Next question. In Bhagavad Gita 4.34, so let's share the translation of the verse. How should one approach a spiritual master? A, by offering money. B, by proving one's intelligence. C, by arguing with him. D, by serving him and inquiring submissively. Yeah, D is the answer. It's not tricky. All the other three is, we know it's distinct. Okay. This is with respect to text 36. Okay, text 36 is, what is the result of receiving transcendental knowledge? A, one no longer has to work. B, one gets mystical powers. C, one becomes free from all sinful reactions. D, one becomes very successful. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, the verse, and it's quite straightforward. One becomes free from all sinful reactions. Okay. In verse 4.38, what is compared to the purest form of knowledge? A, water. B, gold. C, fire. D, sun. What is compared to the purest form of knowledge? In verse, actually, it was 37. It's not 38. Yeah, 37 is distinct. It's fire, right? Fire. Uh, okay. Say true or false. In verse 39, it is said that a doubtful person attains peace easily. Yeah, this is also right. It is false because he says that a doubtful person um, cannot attain knowledge. It's actually 40, right? Uh, in verse 42, the Lord Krishna states that the knowledge acts like a sword to cut doubts born of ignorance. True or false? Yeah, this is also a good question. True. Okay. Okay. So we will see what is there in chapter 5. Who's reading today? Yes, Prabhuji. Srinath Prabhu, you can read the first 5 verses and we can
Hare
discuss.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial." The personality of Godhead replied, "The renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. One who neither hates nor desires the fruit of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service karma yoga as being different from the analytical study of the material world Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is chapter 5. It is a combination of chapter 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 we have seen as karma yoga, and chapter 4 is transcendental knowledge. So this is karma yoga with transcendental knowledge. So why is Arjuna saying this? Arjuna is asking a question. First of all, you ask me to renounce work. And then again, you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? So, why is he asking this? So let's read some parts of the purport to understand. Can anyone read the first paragraph? I mean, this much. We'll read the whole purport. Yes, Sabha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji and everyone. The purport of this, in this 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that work is devotional service is better than dry mental speculations. Devotional service is easier than the latter because, being transcendental in nature, it frees one from reaction. In the second chapter, preliminary knowledge of the soul and its entanglement in the material body were explained. How to get out of this material engagement by Buddhi Yoga or devotional service was also explained therein. In the third chapter, it was explained that a person who is situated on the platform of knowledge no longer has any duties to perform. And in the fourth chapter, the Lord told Arjuna that all kinds of sacrificial work culminate in knowledge. However, at the end of the fourth chapter, the Lord advised Arjuna to wake up and fight, being situated in perfect knowledge. Therefore, by simultaneously stressing the importance of both work in devotion and inaction in knowledge, Krishna has perplexed Arjuna and confused his determination. Arjuna understands that renunciation in knowledge involves cessation of all work, all kinds of work performed as sense activities. But if one performs work in devotional service, then how is work stopped? In other words, he thinks that sannyasa or renunciation in knowledge should be altogether free from all kinds of activity because work and renunciation appear to him to be incompatible. He appears not to have understood that work in full knowledge is non reactive and is therefore the same as inaction. He inquires, therefore, whether he should cease work altogether or work with full knowledge.
Thank you, Mataji. So, what are the 2 points that the Lord explains in chapter 2? From this purport? Yes. Anyone wants to answer? Yes, Bhavnesh. Prabhuji.
I understood Mataji Hare Krishna that do your duty without attaching to any fruitive activities, and read in 2 as well about the example was given, like if you are the cashier, you're just counting money, and but everything belongs to the proprietor, which is Lord Krishna himself.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. So that's the example. We remember that a cashier counts millions of dollars, but yeah, thank you. From this purport, if you can tell, what are the 2 things that the Lord explained in chapter 2?
Knowledge of the soul
Uh-huh.
and its entanglement in the material body.
Yes. And also,
The body changes the soul.
yeah, that is the knowledge of the soul and how the entanglement. And what else he explained? One more point.
How to get out of this material engagement.
Right? How to get out of this material engagement, engagement. Engagement is, we are put in the cage. I mean, we ourselves design our cage also. In the next life, what cage I want, how it is, by devotional service. So, after explaining the knowledge of the soul and our entanglement in material body, Krishna also explained by Buddhi Yoga or devotional service how to get out of this. Then, in the third chapter, what did he explain?
Person who is situated on the platform of knowledge no longer has any duties to perform.
Right? There is one verse, 3 point, I think, 20. 18. or 17. Okay. So let's go to 3.17. That's the only verse where he says that knowledge is that a person who is self-realized has no, but for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization and who's satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. Okay. So Krishna, Arjuna took this. After that, but after that, Krishna is saying that you see, a self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living entity. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. But Arjuna could pick this, that by self-realization, if a person is completely, uh, in self-realization, then he doesn't need to work. So we would like to, even if there was a lecture of so much different topics discussed, what we have in the mind, that one it will stick out on to us, right? More, that will enter in the mind. So this was the culmination. And then in the 4th chapter, he says that how all kinds of sacrificial work culminate in knowledge. That is Jnana Yoga. Ultimately, with knowledge, only we can cross over. We saw that how knowledge burns the fire. It's like a fire and it burns the reactions of work. And knowledge is also like a boat that helps us cross over the ocean of miseries. So, but at the end of the 4th chapter, what he said? Wake up and fight, being situated in perfect knowledge. So Arjuna was thinking that knowledge means inaction. So by simultaneously stressing the importance of both work in devotion and inaction in knowledge. So we have to work unattached to the results, and at the same time, one who's cultivating knowledge, if he has attained that knowledge, that will help him to grow. So we can just cultivate knowledge and renounce all the work. So what to do? Whether we should renounce doing work at all and just cultivate knowledge, or work with devotion. So that is what Arjuna's question now is. And many of us also have this practical question, right? How this can be done at all. Already what Bhagavad Gita starts to speak is beyond many people, ordinary people's, realm of understanding, why bother about the soul, what is there. But more than then, what the Lord speaks, if Srila Prabhupada has not given a practical application in the purport or understanding, then it becomes more and more like it's in a maze. We go in a maze from one place to another, but after finishing the whole book, we don't know what the book said or what the chapter said. So there are two, he did not understand this, that how both can go together, whether we should cease work or work with full knowledge. So then, what did Krishna reply? That renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Why? Can anyone say why?
I think while we are in this world, we will be doing something. Like we will be active to doing something, or eyes has to see we have senses which are always outgoing
Right.
and not incoming within ourselves. So, with our hands, we would like to do something, we want to go somewhere, and we want to see something nice. And all these, like, so much attraction is outside. So, it's better to be doing, like, changing our action towards devotional service than to the worldly social aspect, kind of.
Mm. Very nice.
That's what my understanding is so far.
Yes, Mata.
Because we would like to do something, like, to keep
Right.
entertaining ourselves
Yeah.
and not to be bored.
Mm. So very nice. That kind of summarizes that already we are designed, our body is designed with senses, and senses go after doing their work. So ultimately, I see, my tongue wants to taste, and like this. So um, working in devotional service is better because that is practical. Renouncing, how much we can renounce? Basically, renounce means what? They are civilly dead people, they don't work. And of course, the Lord is going to, even if we do nothing, somehow something will come. Not somehow something, the Lord will arrange. How this living entity, he will arrange somebody to give food, some work to be done, like that. But that requires a high level of complete fulfillment in the self. Means, for some sages like that, they will, if they get food today, it's okay. If they don't get food for 3 days also, they're not much bothered. For such people who are completely fully satiated in the self, renunciation can work. But for the others, for for everyone, that renunciation is very difficult and it's impossible in this world. So see, if we see the last paragraph, um, when persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is complete when it is in knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord and that no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that factually nothing belongs to anyone. Then, where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action is Krishna consciousness, is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school. So, this is how, he's culminating that how it is belonging to someone. Suppose we find a wallet with $1,000 in it, say. Uh, First person sees that and then he takes it to, wow, this is, this is given to me, so I will take it. Otherwise, why is it in front of me? Then the second person comes and he sees, this is not mine. I did not earn this. So why should I take this? So I leave it there. And the third person, he comes, he takes that and he thinks, this is not mine. But so it is definitely somebody's who have lost this. So let me go and hand it over to lost and found section. So they can figure out and reach it to the particular person, because ultimately a person who lost something will come to the lost and found and report. So which one is perfect? Obviously the third person, right? Like going and giving to the owner of whoever that, first of all, enjoying ourselves. That is the first person. Okay, everything that I come across in my way, is for my enjoyment. So that is everything for me. So what is the reaction to that is he knows very well that this is not mine, but even though knowing, because he wants to enjoy that is his goal of life, he will take it. And because of that, he has earned the pain of somebody else. Somebody else has earned that and lost that. Instead of enjoying that, this person A is enjoying. So he has given pain to that person, and he will get back that pain, because whatever cost, it will come back. The second person, he thinks, okay, it's not mine. That he's better than the first person, but his understanding is not complete, or his activity is. He just walks around, he just walks off. But the third person knows that this is not mine and knows that this belongs to someone else. So my duty here is to help that this goes to the right person. So similarly, a person who's acting in devotional service understands that the proprietor of everything is Krishna, including me, myself. As a soul, we belong part and parcel of Krishna. And the body is also the material energy of Krishna, and the senses also, and whatever he has given in the term of whatever my possessions here are also Krishna as the proprietor. So he will try to use everything in the Lord's service. Okay, so yeah, so then he says that how Krishna explains that whether you renounce or you do this, doing this is more better, but both of them ultimately is the same, achieves the same result. How? The first one, the Sankhya Yoga, means detachment. Okay, I develop detachment from what is not mine. And Bhakti Yoga is, we don't bother much about developing detachment now. What we do, attachment to the Lord. Even attachment to the Lord is somewhere in the line now. But what we do is commitment to devotional activities, commitment to this path. So I'm not greatly getting happiness like how I see TV or converse with friends or see social media. Like that, I don't get the taste to chant, but I commit myself to this path. So by that, what we are doing is we are gradually developing attachment to Krishna by getting committed. In our level, what we have to do, we are committed to the devotional activities, chanting, offering the Lord something, and doing some service practically, and taking some time off to understand how all this works by reading Bhagavad Gita. So one thing is cultivating attachment, another is cultivating detachment. So, but the result of both is, even that who cultivate detachment, ultimately after cultivating detachment, they find out what is the root of everyone. Vishnu is the root of all existence. And then they have to surrender to the Lord, or another Sayujya Mukti they choose. So ultimately the Lord is the end point of both. But for a person who has developed attachment to the Lord, you see how easy it is. Because on the way only he's developing attachment. At the end, it will be completely blissful to see the Lord. So that's why he says that both are on the same level, sees things as they are. Okay, so let's go to next 5 verses. Yes, who wants to read? Srivatsa Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. Starting from text 6.
Yeah.
Starting from text 6.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Text 6. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Text 7. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to me, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Text 8 and 9. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all, because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects, and that he is aloof from them. Text 10. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Text 11. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So yeah, so here he says that this path of renunciation is good, but see, it is dry, right? It is like for a child who's playing with, say, a sharp object, or something that keep out of reach of children, but he's already playing with it, and to give that up. If you ask the child, okay, no, give it back or put it down, he'll hold it more tightly, say a knife, or tries to run away with it. But if we, so what the mother does, shows something that is more, enlightening for the child. Okay, if there is a knife, then she brings a toy or brings something nice to eat. So then the child puts that down and then picks that up. So similarly, for us, if we are asked to give away, detach from what we are doing, what we are closely attached to now, it's very hard for us to give that up. But if we can engage in devotional service with whatever we have, then what he says is we can achieve the Supreme Lord without delay. That means in the process of only renunciation, it's going to take a long time, and it will not make one happy, because we are used to being happy with satisfying ourselves. So suddenly to take a U-turn and do something completely opposite, we can try, but we can't sustain for long. But in devotional service, what are we getting is we are getting a higher taste. If we don't chant, for example, if we have we have committed to chant, say, 4 rounds a day, and if we don't chant, how do you feel? Nobody is asking you. I mean, nobody is, probably, nobody even knows whether you're chanting or not, but it's between you and Krishna. Suppose you promised that you'll chant 4 rounds and you somehow are not able to. Can anyone answer this? How do you feel at that time? Nayana Mataji or Julie Mataji? No. Anyone has this experience who are chanting?
Sorry, Mataji, my kid disturbed me. If you can repeat again, sorry.
No problem. I saw your hands rise, so I thought you wanted to answer this question. So, if suppose we committed to chant, say, 4 rounds or something to the Lord, and we did not do, somehow, how do you feel at that time?
We feel guilty that we are not following our words.
Okay, that's
Not to the path. God sitting there in the heart, He knows that I'm not truthful.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other, anybody wants to share?
Feel that something is missing.
Something is missing. That's good. Okay.
And then if you're too busy and for like we are busy with some like devotional service and could not make it, then cover it up next day.
Okay.
Because
So,
it's a commitment yes, we did, so we have to do it.
okay, that's nice, Prabhuji. Thank you. Ashutosh Prabhu?
Yeah, I will say the same thing, like something missing, something incomplete. If you're not able to complete your rounds, and then I try to complete whatever rounds I have missed the next day, uh, just to get out of that feeling.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. That missing and incomplete feeling is there. Yes, Sonal
And Mataji, what I usually when I do my cooking or something, I put this recording of Srila Prabhupada ji
Yeah,
recording, and I just another side I just keep listening that while
yeah,
in the kitchen.
that's good. That's nice that we are doing that, but it is not equivalent to sitting and chanting. That is one extra, that is very nice. That's how we have to cook. While cooking, we have to remember the Lord, but that doesn't substitute what if we have taken the vow of chanting 2 rounds and we are not able to, this doesn't substitute that. Okay, Sonal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I have the feeling that I feel great vacuum and I feel that I have not connected with Krishna today.
Thank you for that. Right, so all of us have, yeah, Bhuvana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, and knowingly doing something sin because I
Okay.
committed to do, but I know that that's going to be wrong. Kind of, I'm doing some knowingly doing something
No,
sinful activity.
okay, knowingly doing some sinful activity. Okay, if you have time and we could have spent on that and we did not do that. Yes. So thank you all. Thank you so much. So what we are trying to understand in this is it's not a force from anywhere. Nobody is monitoring us, or we are not in CCTV to prove anyone. But we all know intuitively within the heart that we if we miss this chanting, especially when we have started this and we have committed to the Lord some rounds, and if we miss that, we feel that vacuum or missing. Why? That is a taste. We may not really enjoy chanting like eating prasadam, gulab jamun, or whatever we like. But if we don't do that, we are missing that, right? That is the greatest asset in Bhakti Yoga. So that means that we know the value of something when it's not there, right? So when we don't do, we have this feeling because we are directly connected to Krishna who is within our heart. Someone says that, right? So because of this eternal connection, we are committed to that. And slowly the Lord is giving us the strength. Actually, we have to understand that in this material world, to keep chanting Krishna's name every day is not possible without the Lord's mercy, and also it's not possible without our determination to do so. So both is important. We have to have determination that somehow I will find time to do this, and with that only we cannot do. But that determination draws Krishna's blessings on us so that we can do that. So the point is, devotional service gives us a feeling of completeness, because when we don't do, we have a feeling of missing, and that attracts the Supreme Lord very soon without delay. So because of being in connection, he becomes a pure soul, and he controls his minds and senses and is very dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. The Goswamis are described like that. People who are controlled their mind and senses. You see, we all have this experience of, because of the uncontrolled mind and senses, we do something and then we are constantly haunted by that. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Right? So so the amount we are able to work in devotion, that much we will be pure, and that much we'll be able to control the mind and senses, because we give that job to Krishna to do. So that is why, ultimately a person in divine consciousness, so such a divine consciousness always connected to the Lord, he knows himself that he's aloof from everything in this. Okay, so how we can do that? By starting to surrender the results to the Lord. By surrendering the results to the Lord, although the lotus leaf is always on water, does not become wet with water. So we cannot escape our, circumstances. We cannot escape to work. We cannot, do jnana yoga renunciation. Even in those days when majority of population would renounce and go to the forest and meditate and all those, also it was not very practical like doing devotional service. Forget about it now. Now there are no forests at all. Previously in Charlotte map, there was full of forests. Now forests are converted into forest dwelling for people. Previously sages used to be there. Now we make the forest into cities. Right. So this is more practical to do the work as an offering to the Lord. And that way we are unaffected by sinful action. So yeah. Let's continue. 11 to 15. Anyone can unmute and read?
I'll read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Text 11. The yogis abandoning... Oh, this was done. Sorry. Text 12. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all the activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Text 13. When the embodied living beings controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Text 14. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Text 15. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. Text 16. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So, so why he attains peace? Because he offers the result of all activities to me. Krishna says, if we don't offer, then if the results is good, then we enjoy. If the result is bad, then we suffer. And always all results of all the activities are not good, right? We know there is enjoyment and there is suffering. But by offering the result of all activities to me, the steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace. Because as we saw in the video, in the chat by Yashita Mataji, that there are 3 things: that Krishna is a proprietor, and Krishna is my supreme friend, and Krishna is a supreme enjoyer. So he is he's peaceful, whatever be the results of the activities. So here the body is described as 9 gates. So we all have this experience at home when in the night, we switch on the, security system, lock all the gates, doors. If there are that many doors, that many possibilities, people can come and attack. If there is one door, then we check whether that's kept open or closed and everything is in order, right? But here the material body has 9 gates. So anytime anybody could come in through the gates, or sometimes 9 gates, people can rush through the 9 gates and plunder the person. So similarly, this material body is like the city of 9 gates, because gates are like the outlet of enjoyment. The senses go to the sense objects. So like that. And how is it possible to remain in the city of 9 gates? Always, we need to be conscious who's present in which gate, who's going to break open the gate and come inside. But if he mentally renounces all actions, means offering the results to Krishna, then he says that he can be, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates. Otherwise, it's always a anxiety. Currently, we are all in this mode of anxiety. What will happen? When? What will happen? Even if everything is going peaceful, also we want to think about what will happen tomorrow if it's not peaceful, right? Or something this happened in the past. Now everything is going on fine, but still I want to pick up something that's happened in the past and worry about. So this is what our current state is. But Krishna is saying that, I have the capacity. If you give it to me, I will take care of you and everything else very nicely. So that's why he says, the embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So then who assumes the pious? Who is the reason for our pious and sinful activities? Not the Supreme Lord. We ourselves. So why? Because we don't know how this acts, right? What are the senses? What is the goal of life and how to do it? How am I getting distracted? All this we don't know. So because of that, our ignorance is covering the real knowledge and we are bewildered. Don't know where to go and what to do. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gives this example of being in a movie theater. So we all must have gone to the movie theater. We have this experience. After going in, it's a different world and there's a different story. And then we are identifying ourselves with that. For 3 hours, we want to identify ourselves with the movie. Okay, we pay for it and we come. The other, what we are, we want to forget. But there also, when we observe the movie, we know that, although many times we are in the movie, caught up in the movie, then there is interval, then there is popcorn, or somebody else is doing something. So that person who is watching the movie is also aware that I am sitting here and there is something else going on in the movie and he's in and out, right? For a person who's understanding, who's connecting to the Lord through Krishna consciousness, he's saying that he is completely, his whole life, he watches he's like an observer. He's like a movie. He's like watching a movie. He's not, actually our life is like a movie only. After 3 hours, we get into another movie. I mean, after this life and a set of things, then another life. Another set of characters and our relationship with them and suffering and happiness, and from then on go to another, like that it continues. But so a self-realized person knows that even though I am this movie, I can be away from this. this is a movie and I am away from this. So a Krishna conscious person knows that whatever is here is temporary, okay, but I am eternal, and the Lord is eternal, and my connection with Him is eternal. So there is some positive engagement for him, positive identification. If I don't identify with what is there around me materially, then I have to identify with what I am really as a spirit soul. Then it's easy to see this as a movie. Otherwise, it becomes hard. So, because of the real knowledge, one is awakened to this understanding, and he can see. This is a very nice, it's a big purport, but although you'll be reading this, I hope all of you are reading the purports. I thank you, Reshma Mataji, for putting the poll. And I see some of them regularly um, put the poll that you're reading, and I assume others are also reading. Please read it, because we will not get this chance again. So you see here, being in a bewildered condition, therefore the embodied soul identifies himself with the circumstantial material body and becomes subjected to the temporary misery and happiness of life. Both are temporary, but we become subject to that. The Lord is the constant companion of the living entity as Paramatma, or the super soul. And therefore, he can understand the desires of the individual soul as one can smell the flavor of a flower by being near it. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. The Lord fulfills his desire as he deserves. Man proposes and God disposes. The individual is not, therefore, omnipotent in fulfilling his desires. The Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desires of the minute, independent living entity. However, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain to Him and be eternally happy. So, what should we do? From this reading, what is something that's in our hands that we should do?
Surrender.
Yeah, but if from this reading specifically, from what we read.
We should desire for Krishna and engage in devotional service.
Right, Sonal Mataji, right. See, because the
We should
Lord.
desire the
Yes.
blessings of Krishna,
Hmm.
that we can do it. Blessings is more important, I think.
Yeah. But blessings is like a check. We need to encash the check, right? So blessings will be there as a check. Unless we encash it, the check will only remain as a piece of paper. Or we use it. We give the check to. So similarly, we have to desire to do. When we desire to do, along with we desire blessings, then automatically it is there. You see the blessing, what is there a blessing? See, when one desire, the Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desires of the minute, independent living entities. People will ask, for going to the theater, they won't say that it is the Lord's wish. But when we call to come to the temple or reading Bhagavad Gita, that time they'll say, if it's Lord's wish, then I will come. At that time, it's completely on Lord's wish. But to go for vacation, to enjoy, that time we don't say if it's Lord's wish, we do. We actively take a, we do. We work, we endeavor to enjoy. So the Lord, this is why they say, Lord will not interfere with our desires. However, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way. that one can attain to him and be eternally happy. So desiring is in our thing, but when we desire, then the Lord takes special care. And he keeps on encouraging us to desire more and more. So that's why, so desire is what? Like, can we say that, oh, I want to eat ice cream and I want to eat ice cream. I want to eat ice cream. We sit in the same place. No, we go to the parlor and we execute the desire, right? So when we desire to uh, desire Krishna, that means we also execute it. How? To take time to chant, to read Bhagavad Gita, to offer to Krishna, to do some, devotional service with the results of our activities like money, time, body, wealth, whatever we can. So we execute the desire, then the Lord is helping us to desire more, then we execute more and be eternally happy. Okay, so we will pause here for today till verse 15. And this chapter has 28 verses. So if we do the next slot, the next class, please go through the purports now and within this week, within the next 2-3 days, and we'll discuss more. So we'll pause here for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. If you have any questions, we can discuss. Yeah, those who have raised hands, is that for questions? Or you can lower hands and those who have questions can. So, yes, Naina Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So my question was around chanting the Mahamantra. Do we have to keep our eyes closed or open or both work?
Whatever works for you. There are no hard and fast rules on closing or opening of eyes. Sometimes I felt some instances if I close my eyes, either I drift away to sleep very easily or I go to an internal dream. That also disturbs. Sometimes when you are open and then there is something going on constantly, then that also disturbs. So depending on the
Yes.
time and circumstances and what works best for you, you can do that. Ultimately, our aim is to bring back the mind on the mantra and receive the mantra. Constantly keep putting efforts to hear the mantra.
Yes, yes. And can we do it with like Krishna Das has a Hare Krishna, song. So can we do it with that
Actually,
while making sure we can hear?
Making sure
We can hear. The volume is low so that we can, just sync it with that, but make sure that we can hear what we are chanting.
Okay. Generally, it is what Prabhupada said is, yeah, we are all in like, we are coming in a japa call and somebody is chanting. So we keep it in low volume as a background, very low volume as a background. And we hear. We hear what we chant mainly.
Yes.
But it's recommended not to keep any songs or even Prabhupada's chanting also in that. I have heard that it's better to, hear what we chant. When not on japa call, generally I have seen that the devotees, they don't put anything else as a background, but try and hear what we chant.
Makes sense.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah, Srivatsa Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji. I really like your lesson today. I was deeply immersed, very nice purports and verses. I was reading a book today by Deepak Chopra, and a lot of these people who invoke these self-help section or what have you, they invoke a lot of dharmic principles, but somehow for the masses, they are stuck in that whole Brahman Shunya philosophy, and it ends there. Um, so if I wanted to do something like dharma prachara, should I first make myself more advanced? Should I make myself more whole, or is there a time as, oh, okay, this is the right time, now you go, and you go into the world and not necessarily preach, but spread like a ground level movement, awaken the masses to greater possibilities and break down like the systems and the dogmas that are controlling people now. And even when I use the word dharma as opposed to Hinduism, continuously I'll say dharma. Even when the opposing person says Hindu, I will not use the word Hindu. I will use the word dharma. And then that makes the person think like, this guy maybe is onto something. Like, what is this? And so are these all, I'm sure these are good strategies, but maybe you can give me more insight as to how to spread the grand truth as I know it to be. Even though I know I am not grand, but I know that the truth is grand.
Wonderful.
So,
I mean, really nice spirit. I like your observation about self-help books, that how they're good. They're not incomplete. They're making the masses think, introspect more, but
mm,
not beyond it's nirvishesh and shunyavadi level. That's a very,
mm,
very wonderful statement. Wonderful observation.
thank you, Mataji.
So,
Because right now I have this guy also, Tony Robbins. I was just reading Awaken the Giant Within.
mm,
But the giant is actually Krishna. So, so I mean, but anyways,
that's true. Many of them, if you read Bhagavad Gita fully, and then we are trying to, I mean, every time we read, we understand more. That's one thing. Then we read these books, we can see them reflecting the principles of Bhagavad Gita.
hmm,
Exactly correlate. Actually, in some situations, in some, we can even know, okay, this is what is told by Krishna in this chapter.
hmm.
So,
Because what you are speaking here is qualitatively higher than I've gone to some convocation paying $50, this dollar, this guy will come, he'll be like, everybody get up, energy, this, that. And then you go home, no energy, nothing, everything is gone. So, whereas when I sit and I'm just listening, I was cooking right now, it seeps in continuously, not just this, but regularly.
right.
Intuitively, I know already, not just because I was born into Hindu family, this has to be the truth or the highest truth that I know.
Yeah.
So
So,
now I want to.
yeah, coming to your question, there is, if we learn 1%, then we share 1%. That is the thing.
Hmm,
Because we don't wait for us to become perfect enough to share. But we know
hmm.
something, even if it's a theoretical thing, we share it. Because that's a service to the Lord, and that will help us practice. And if you have practiced 2%, then we share that 2%. Otherwise, why will, what qualification I have got to say anything on Bhagavad Gita? I am not anywhere near many of the shlokas that you sing, but I know that I'm trying, and this is a part of my learning to share. So
So
that way,
when I talk to people, some of their misconceptions are rooted in number one, the caste system, number two, idol worship, and number three, they have some historical inaccuracies. But I have figured out ways to kind of because I'm kind of like a lone wolf. I know my worth, I've understood it, and I can take on these things now. What tips can you give for dharma, for the truth to spread? What can I embody? How do I break down these misconceptions?
see, to break down the misconceptions of people is not easy, because you need to convince them of a higher reality.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
Intellectually, logically, analytically. For that, we need to be grounded in the philosophy and
Yeah.
practice ourselves. Because from your practice and your reading of the books comes your strength to answer their questions, address their concerns.
Mm.
Then,
Yeah.
that's how what you're doing is very good. And that's
Mm.
what, that's what happened 300 years ago.
Mm.
They brainwashed the Sanatan Dharmis that, whatever you are doing is useless, it's outdated,
Mm.
and your language is no more, effective. Learn this English and learn this way of culture. So we see this during, uh, from after the Mughals left, from the East India Company and the Britishers, they came. We see this. Uh,
Decay.
Yeah, DK, because they did it intellectually first. They convinced the Indians or who are Sanatan Dharma followers that whatever you're doing is useless. It is very
Mm.
low, it's outdated, and what
Mm.
you're supposed to do is this. And it took
Mm.
200 years for them to do that. So we also have to now, if we want to ourselves be convinced, then we need to read nicely, practice nicely, and whatever we have practiced and read, share on that as a daily basis.
Mm. Yeah, because the paradigms that have been built are all their paradigms. And then it's like, okay, like capitalism, economic venture, all this. Bharat didn't have any this historically. But anyways, this is a deep conversation, but I just wanted, because I've been trying this lately, seeing like certain Caucasians, some of my friends, I asked them to come, but I'll invoke pre-Christendom Europe. I believe that was dharmic. Before Christianity in Europe, whole world, if it was under dharma, Europe was also must have been dharmic only. So I will invoke certain things and I'll come back to this, come back to that. So yes, Mataji. Thank
Mataji,
you.
I go for hot yoga classes at Good Life, and all the terms they're using are Hindi. Hot
Mm.
yoga, vinyasa yoga, and they say namaste and the end, and I smile. I say,
Correct.
because Sanatan Dharma is already there
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but they're
in some form.
consuming it. They're digesting it, don't you think, Mataji? It is digestion, it is not always reverence.
And no, and
It is not being revered,
But at
I'll
it is
least
being
it's a
interrupt.
good
digested.
thing
I'll
that it is
interrupt.
there. It is there,
Ah.
Mataji,
right?
Mataji, my yoga teacher, like last here at Anin, she's a Christian, but she told me about her experience with heart chakra opening and all that. So she was like already inclined towards Sanatan Dharma. And I know few Christian people, and they in dream they saw Goddess Lakshmi and all giving messages. So they used to build temple in the house and do puja and all that. Like
That's it's slowly there. That's why it is it is in this condition and in this environment, it's a great sin if we don't read it properly and practice. Because
right.
then we can help them. We can tell the right answers. We know right from Bhagavad. That's why, this session is not a presentation session. This session is for reading. So
And
this is
Mataji,
direct reading.
I bought a small Bhagavad Gita and I gifted to my daughter, and she was so thankful, and she's reading it. So in a way, like it's the best gift we can give to our kids, right?
Right,
Spirituality.
right. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Uh, yeah, tomorrow is Ekadashi. And as we know, these are sale days, spiritual sale days. And so we take advantage of this for dedicating ourselves more to our sadhana. On these days, we reduce the bodily demands by eating less and eating, restricted, not grains and pulses and cereals, but maybe whatever bare minimum required to keep us active and going. Not that we completely, that's not the main thing, to completely abstain from whatever we are eating and drinking, but we are paralyzed, we are not able to do anything. But we try to minimize that and spend more time to chanting and worshipping the Lord. So by this, every Ekadasi, we are improving our spiritual standards by leaps and bounds. So we will, follow as much as we can fasting and also chanting more and reading Bhagavad Gita. All this is very, very effective on Ekadasis. So tomorrow is Ekadashi, so we can do that. And Reshma Mataji had asked a question that was very nice. I thought I will discuss it here. In verse 21, chapter 4. Yeah, thanks for your, it's so nice to know that you're reading and scrutinizingly trying to understand. So here the verse says, such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. So this is how to a person who has given the sense of proprietorship, because he knows he's a part and parcel of the Supreme, and he's dovetailed with the Supreme desire. And what is he saying? He moves exactly like a part of a machine. As a machine part requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance, so a Krishna conscious man maintains himself by his work, just to remain fit for action in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So we work, we eat, we do everything, maintain ourselves healthy and mentally, physically, everything, so that we can act as a part and parcel of the Lord. So he's saying he is therefore immune to all the reactions of endeavors. Like an animal, he has no proprietorship even over his own body. So a cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession, yet the animal does not protest, nor does it have any real independence. So this is the thought of a surrendered person. So we see this happens, right? The farmers raise the animals, and after the animal is reared, the animal has throughout the life seen the farmer as a protector, but still the farmer gives the animal for killing, yet the animal does not protest because it does not have any real independence. So, the concept here is that a person who is Krishna conscious is surrendered to the Lord and not have any independence on his own. Fully engaged in self-realization, has very little time to falsely possess any material object. For maintaining body and soul, he does not require unfair means of accumulating money. You see, moonlighting, do this job, that job. Why? My friend is doing that. Why? Because he has 5 houses and I have only 1 house or no house. So like this, the whole Kali Yuga is a time when Tamasika Guna is to the peak. So all over people are acquiring, whether they need the money or not, they don't think. But because my goals are set by my society and my friends, so unfair means of accumulating money. But for a Krishna conscious person does not do so. He does not therefore become contaminated by such material sins. He is free from all reactions to his actions. So the point here is that he doesn't have any real independence, and he completely dovetails his desire to the Lord. What the Lord wants me to do in this situation, I will do. So like that, that's the example given here. Okay, and another question is that we don't need to worry about what we have done before. Okay, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we might have done so many things that we now know that, oh, I have accumulated so many sins. But Krishna says that only do not worry about that. I will relieve you from all sinful reactions. That's one thing. And uh, it's okay to eat our favorite food. This is another answer, sweets or anything, but after offering to the Lord, and we know that it doesn't have any ingredients that is causing sin. If it is pure and natural ingredients, then we might like something to eat. But in our condition, what we do, we offer it to the Lord and then take it as prasadam. So, for example, I eat something sweet that is nice, but when I offer it to the Lord, now again I enjoy the sweet also, but I know that this is also tasted by the Lord and this is prasadam. So that consciousness also creeps in a little bit, and then it becomes more and more and more. So that way, we are not doing any, we don't need to be uh, that, oh, is it good that I am attached, but good that you are even thinking about that whether whatever I am doing, is it causing attachment, or attachment to myself, or attachment to Krishna. That's what we have to worry about, not detachment at this point of time. Of course, we need to be detached from activities that will put us in more misery and pain in the future, which we know that it's better to give it up as early as possible. uh, but other than that, our goal is to increase our attachment to devotional activities. Hope that's okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji, for the beautiful explanation. I really wanted. I'm on a journey trying to control my senses, and I have been realizing how much slave I am. So I just wanted to ask you this question really quick, and uh,
That's a
that's a
great
beautiful.
realization, Mataji. You are in a advanced level to, think about all this and try to apply and practically see. That's very nice. Thanks to you for putting the poll and reminding all of us to keep our schedule on reading.
Oh, no worries, Mataji. The reason I do it is because if I don't, I'm just being uh, responsible. I have to do it, right? If I am posting in the group, it means I have to do it first. So that's the main reason I took up this, and I am doing it. Yeah.
Wow, very nice. Thank you,
Yep.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks to Yashita Mataji for doing the class, the shloka memorization. And I see that, and also you have compiled with the document and the audio also. So it's easy for anyone to open the doc and hear the shloka and read as well. That's wonderful service. So both of you are doing amazing. So we all can learn. Yes, Chandar Mataji.
Mataji, can you explain a little bit about the onion and garlic? Why it's been prohibited, like not to use that?
Yeah, traditionally also you see now this didn't exist at all in the Indian cuisine, and it was only introduced after the British came, and then now in every state, every region, these two are the main ingredients, or in any sabji, any vegetable, any dishes we do, it's become like uh, so much rampant in our uh, cuisines everywhere, all over the world, and also very few dishes we find. So this itself we can see. Amoglila Prabhu had a explanation how these two are like a gundas. When gundas come inside, they you know get everyone out. So when these two are there, the pungent taste of them, it rules the dish. We don't find any, the taste of the other vegetables. I mean, this is what he said, and we also have known this recently. One devotee was sharing that now she's trying to cook without onion and garlic for offering. Now she is able to taste the vegetables. Otherwise, previously it was only she was tasting this pungent taste. So we see this was not in there. This is not even now. If you go to the temples, they don't. Um, offer food with that. Although this is not a very, like a meat, it's not a sinful activity, but it is not fit for offering because of the amount of, it will pull us through to the modes of ignorance and passion. And someone may ask that, why without that also we are mostly in the mode of passion and ignorance only. Yes, that's right. But we are trying to cultivate goodness. And so we what the Lord asks us to avoid, being in the mode of passion and ignorance, we try to avoid that. So initially, you may not be able to jump from 0 to 100, completely giving up all this. So that's why one senior teacher, she told me that if you're cooking, then you have, say, rice and then dal and sabji, and you in the sabji you used onion and garlic, but in the dal and rice is okay. Then at least we offer that to start with, or only roti and jaggery, roti and ghee, or rice and curd, rice and ghee, something, some part of the thing that can be offered to the Lord. We begin with that baby steps, because that rice which is offered to the Lord is blessed, is not ordinary rice. It is prasadam. That roti is having the mercy of the Lord. Prasadam basically means mercy, and it touches the soul uh, and cleanses all the other levels also. So whatever we are able to offer, we have to, we can offer that, starting with that. Then that will purify our taste and help us more to commit ourselves more to chanting. And then slowly, in a period of time, we can see that it is not difficult to give this up. That strength comes by offering what we can to the Lord every day.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to all the devotees. Guda Kesha. I myself am not Guda Kesha. How can I say? So, I mean, we can try, and like you're coming up in the early morning call, you're chanting. So that's our steps. Try to keep our schedule so that we can rise on time and then chant before we start the work. Then slowly, as we advance, then we can come to the stage like we can give up sleep also. But I'm not there yet, so I wouldn't comment on that. But I know there are many devotees uh, who sleep less, and they are active and they're very happy, and they're trying to do this in the advanced stage. So we will also reach there. Yes, Reena Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very, very nice class. Thank you so much. I just had, like you mentioned, the japa session. So I just thought of that. I get up every day on time for the session, but I'm still like very slow with doing the japa. So when I do it, like each round is taking me around more than 10 minutes, sometimes 12 minutes, I would say. And so if I do it really fast, I get tired. I can't get through the whole hour. So is that something normal?
That's
for
okay.
others?
Initially, it's okay, 10-12 minutes. So how you can do faster is when we try to focus more on the mantra, we practice that. So it's okay to 10-12 minutes initially, but do it nicely as much as possible, because this every mantra what we say can is lifting us up. So it's like a great treasure. It's like $1 million worth.
Yes,
So
Mataji, and I want to share with everyone also when I'm doing it, and obviously the mind is wandering a lot of the times, but there have been times where I see that I feel the presence of Krishna. He's there in the distance and watching. Happens sometimes, like very occasionally, but I've experienced that.
yeah, you see, that's so nice. Thank you for sharing that.
It's beautiful, but I'm still like, I'm just wondering if I try to do it too fast, I'm just focused on getting it done, and then I'm
It's
not
okay.
getting that taste like you described.
It's okay. You can take your time and then fix the number of rounds that you can chant, like 2 or 4. Take a number that you can comfortably do and do it no matter what. Even if we miss the japa session in the morning, by the end of the day, we have to do that. So
Yeah,
if
Mataji, I think somebody raised that about the timing of doing the japa. Earlier I was doing it like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. I realized that when it's dark, it's easier. The morning time is better than even the night time. So I find that more, conducive to actually being able to do it properly
right,
without getting too much distraction.
right, that is true. Yeah, morning time mind is subdued and listen. It's easy to get the mind to listen to what we say. But as the day goes, mind grows like a giant.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's a constant struggle. Even when we chant, mind is more powerful. Yeah.
And also another trick is not to look at your phone even if you get up to do the japa, whatever time. First you have to do the japa, then look at the phone. That's like strictly I've been following that. And
Very
that
nice.
helps.
Very
Yeah.
valuable and very very practical also. Thank you so much. Because somebody said that one hand we would hold a japamala and the other hand will we hold a black snake.
Oh no.
The phone is like a black snake.
Absolutely. And it's like we are all like programmed to automatically reach for the phone in the morning. It was a fight the first few days I did that. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So now it's become a habit. But it's a thing. Like we are so spoiled. I mean, once you start doing these things, then you realize, my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, except for Lord Shiva, he can control the snakes, not us. So yeah. Okay, devotees. So very nice. Thanks to all of you for sharing, coming together as a group, as a family. We are reading in this journey of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll continue to read the purports and come and discuss together by the Lord's mercy. So happy Ekadashi and hope to see you all in the Japa session if it works for you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.